With the success of the 1903 series, it was expected for the Boston Americans and the New York Giants to meet at the end of the 1904 season. But John T. Brush, the owner of the New York Giants, refused the Boston invitation. The move was met by wide disapproval of the fans, manifesting itself in the fall of the regular season attendance. In 1905 Brush relented, and took it upon himself to introduce the best-of-7 game format, as well as the making of the World Series a permanent, mandatory event. At the end of the 1905 season, the champions of the two leagues met. The New York Giants, the National League champs for the second year in a row, were a formidable team. Their pitching staff read like an all-star ballot, composed of Joe McGinnity, Red Ames, Dummy Taylor, Hooks Wiltse, and John McGraw's favorite, Christy Mathewson. Their offense was anchored by the versatile Roger Bresnahan, as well as sluggers like Sam Mertes and Mike Donlin. The Athletics were built similarly to the Giants, with their pitching staff representing their major strength. Future Hall of Famers Eddie Plank, Rube Waddell, and Chief Bender, as well as Andy Coakley, were responsible for 87 of the team's 92 wins. Unfortunately for Connie Mack, their best pitcher, Rube Waddell, was injured. His arm injury, caused by the wrestling match with teammate Andy Coakley, changed the course of his career. Though he would pitch for 5 more years, he never again reached his former level. He would not be able to pitch in the series. Some would later assert that Waddell was paid off to fake the injury. Connie Mack found this assertion ridiculous. The Athletics' offense featured sluggers like Labe Cross, Sox Seabold, and Danny Murphy, but their captain, Harry Davis, was a leader in most of the offensive categories. The Athletics' uniforms were all white. Perhaps in a fit of superstition, John McGraw had his players dress in all black to counteract this. The first game of the series took place on Monday, October 9th, at Columbia Park. The Giants sent their young ace, Christy Mathewson, to the mound. At the age of 24, Mathewson was already a 5-year veteran, with 128 big league victories to his credit. The A's countered with a 29-year-old Eddie Plank, also a 5-year veteran, with 110 big league victories. The game began at 1:46 in the afternoon. Jack Sheridan was a home plate umpire. Hank O'Day was at first base. Facing his first batter of the series, Eddie Plank hit Roger Bresnahan, an ominous sign for the Athletics. 2 outs later, Dan McGann hit the ball deep to right for a ground rule double, putting the Giants 90 feet away from the home plate. But Sam Mertes struck out, and the scoring threat was over. Plank would have more trouble in the second. With 1 out, Art Delvin and Billy Gilbert bunted their way on base, and then executed a successful double steal. But Plank again avoided disaster, striking out Christy Mathewson, intentionally walking Roger Bresnahan, and getting George Brown to ground out. Unlike Eddie Plank, Christy Mathewson was cruising through the Athletics lineup, facing the minimum number of batters through the first 3 innings, and not allowing a hit until the Topsy Hartzell single to lead off the 4th. Eddie Plank settled down, pitching a perfect 3rd and 4th, inducing 5 ground outs and striking out 1. But the Giants finally got to him in the 5th. Christy Mathewson started a rally by singling to lead off the frame. A fielder's choice ground out put Roger Bresnahan on base. Bresnahan proceeded to steal second. 1 out later, Mike Donlin singled to left, knocking in Bresnahan and advancing to second on a throw. The next batter, Dave McGann, walked. Sam Mertes followed up with a ground rule double to center, knocking in Donlin. By the time Bill Dalen flew out to left, the Giants had a 2-run lead. Christy Mathewson, meanwhile, continued to baffle the Philadelphia hitters. He did allow a double to Ozzie Streckengost in the 6th. Mathewson proceeded to strike out Eddie Plank, but threw a wild pitch for strike 3, allowing Streckengost to advance to third. The next batter, Topsy Hartzell, hit the ball back to the pitcher. Streckengost was thrown out at home. This is as close as the Athletics would get to scoring. Mathewson allowed another double to Danny Murphy in the 8th, but kept the Athletics off the board. Eddie Plank was continually hounded by the Giants' offense, but did not allow another run until the top of the ninth. Billy Gilbert led off the frame by singling to left. Christy Mathewson bunted him over to second. Roger Bresnahan then singled to center, knocking in Gilbert. By the end of the frame, the Giants had a 3-run lead. Mathewson continued to pitch into the ninth. Topsy Hartzell grounded out to short, and Briss Lord struck out. Harry Davis made contact with the pitch, hitting a ground rule double to right center, but Labe Cross grounded out to third, putting an end to Game 1. The contest was indeed a pitching duel. Eddie Plank came out on the short end of the stick, yielding 3 runs to the dangerous New York offense. Christy Mathewson, on the other hand, pitched a 4-hit shutout.